Cristiano Ronaldo's latest purchase is all set to destroy football.
Yeah, maybe I shouldn't say that, but it's true.
The truth is the truth.
Ronaldo's come out of the blocks with a new game that's gonna dominate the gaming franchise. And if his plan goes complete, the world could soon say goodbye to FC and PES titles. And welcome the UFL as the best game on the planet.
And then Ronaldo! What a goal by Cristiano Ronaldo!
The question is, why is Ronaldo coming out with this new game and why now? See guys, for years when it came to video games, there had only ever been two leading competitors in the market. FIFA ruled the streets of consoles back in the day. The titles they released every year featured some forms of improvement, and the competition and realistic nature of the game had users hooked. But this didn't mean FIFA was alone, because back in the early 2000s, the early years of the video game rivalry, FIFA had a competitor they quite simply couldn't beat. When Pro Evolution Soccer, PES, first came along, it was under the branch of Konami Sports. And the idea with these guys at the time was to create a game that realistically reproduced real player movements. What this meant was while PES had fake player titles like Henry instead of Thierry Henry from France, but I can't lie, while these names looked dodgy, the realism in how they moved and how they passed the ball and how they looked made the games a hit. See guys, back then FIFA were the guys with the license to get real player names and kits, but it was hands down who the better video game company was. PES ruled the streets with features like the option file mode, which allowed developers and gamers to tweak with the systems and refix the player names into real names if they wanted to. FIFA were far behind until they started to catch up. By 2005, PES and Konami could do whatever they wanted. They got guys like me to buy a video game with the referee as the cover. Still, the realism of the game managed to stand out. However, at this point, FIFA had been watching. By 2007, each version of the FIFA video game was selling more than the previous year. FIFA 07 sold 1 million more copies than FIFA 06. This was progress, and as the market works, when one company is progressing, well, another one is taking a loss. FIFA had basically started copying what PES did, but making it better. And the response from PES was to focus on the wrong aspects of the game. They started focusing more on getting players to look more like they did in real life instead of the actual gameplay. The aesthetics were cool, like they were in previous years, but FIFA had something similar and was now offering better gameplay. The catch was that PES was struggling to keep up and FIFA was winning. By the time the PS3 rolled around, the difference was clear. FIFA was more than just a video game. It was the other version of football. Every release each year became an anticipated date. From titles like FIFA Street to the annual version of each game, fans turned out in numbers at stores to get the yearly copies of the game. They had video stores lining up with numbers just to cop the game. FIFA had switched up the engines now, and in partnership with EA Sports, they developed a game everyone wanted to play. Real-life licensed players and kits, better gameplay, better player responses, more authentic stadiums, and an experience that wanted you addicted to your console. By 2015, FIFA sold 18 million copies in the official video game release that year. PES, on the other hand, had gone down badly. In the same period, FIFA had gone up. They were on the losing end of the scale. The gameplay generally was poor, player glitches happened a lot frequently, and it felt like the game regressed instead of progressing. In the same period that FIFA had some 18 million copies worldwide, PES had only managed to sell 1.7 million. For a company that used to dominate early on, they looked down, but they weren't out. FIFA continued to improve. They added new features like the Ultimate Team system, where players could get card collections of various players across the game, form a team, and play against online users on the server. This generated getting women to feature in the game too. Coming into the late 2019s, there was no discussion as to who was on top. FIFA was incredibly clear. The use of players like Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi, both in their prime years as well, meant the world's attention was fixed on this one. For PES, they fell off so bad they required a name change to eFootball. This name change though did start something, and it created a loophole that allowed Cristiano Ronaldo and his team to get involved. PES changing to eFootball was very significant. On their part, the change meant the use of exclusive licensing to try and peg back FIFA. See, part of what had made FIFA take up that initial dominance was the monopoly they had in almost every aspect of the game. In 2019, FIFA secured a deal with UEFA to grant the game European competition rights for the first time. And what this meant was that FIFA could now include Champions League modes with the official competition settings and themes, as opposed to the generic ones the game had used for years. eFootball's response was very creative. Notice how Barcelona had to use the generic stadium name, El Libertador, on FIFA instead of playing at the Nou Camp. Well, that's because eFootball had got an exclusive right to Barcelona's home stadium, which meant only they could use this in the game. By the following year, they'd got an exclusive licensing for Juventus. This one wasn't just about the stadium name alone. The exclusive licensing meant that eFootball owned everything from the use of the official Juventus kit to the Allianz Stadium in Turin. The idea was simple now. FIFA were obviously the big guys at the video game top, but eFootball would never go away. They'd always be picking at FIFA with moves like this, getting exclusive club licensing to at least get a few thousand still playing the game. This made FIFA cocky because in 2023, they announced a decision that shocked the world. Whoa, this was huge news. And this was the loophole Ronaldo and his guys used to come into the video game market. The potential split was huge on both sides. Everyone knew that iconic intro and associated it with the game. Yeah man, EA Sports, it's in the game. The problem was now though, it wasn't in the game anymore. EA and FIFA had split. What this meant was that EA was now focused on producing their video game titles, and FIFA dropped the bombshell by teasing a partnership with 2K for a video game that's set to drop in 2025. The market was divided now. I can't lie, I was expecting eFootball to make a major move during this chaotic period, drop a new feature to the game or make some crazy adjustments to the user interface and get people hopping on it again. But the truth is, they did nothing. eFootball 2024 felt like playing every other previous version of eFootball. The same dodgy graphics, very questionable gameplay, and some player faces that look like ghosts. What is that face? Anyways, there was a loophole in the video game market now. FIFA couldn't claim to be the sole video game makers anymore because EA had taken them off the deal with the use of EAFC. They'd offered what they claimed to be an improvement in hypermotion, better features, and a supposedly improved server for online gaming. But in truth, it still felt like something was missing. And Ronaldo and his guys knew this too. Now the problem with the new EAFC and even FIFA when they used to get called that in the past was the game itself. In aspects like the career mode, for example, some of the transfers that took place seemed way too unreal. There were glitches in when players could switch clubs or the process behind it. And all of that just contributed to it being labeled as FIFA releasing the same game every year, and people only buying it because there was nothing better. And now Ronaldo and his new video game company are ready to change that. What is the UFL? Well, according to the makers, Strikers Incorporated, the UFL is a football simulation game that gives users the best experience in getting real-life details in a video game of football. They have a deal in place with FIFA Pro which allows them to use real player names in the making of the game, so that's a plus. I even heard on the official sponsor logo of the team, they got Mr. Football to feature. That's crazy. The game's promising a lot, I can't lie, and if they can keep up those promises, it'll be a blockbuster. How's the UFL planning to beat EAFC? Well, first up, they seem to have better passing and video game mechanics. There's attention to detail in everything on the trailer, from the way players' muscles move and contrast when playing the game, to how sweat on the body of the players make the jersey rumpled. The game runs on the level 5 engine system. What this means is that it's designed to offer improved graphics that tap hard. The biggest difference is in the Ultimate Team system, because the UFL has introduced a catch that could turn out to be a game changer in the system. Ever noticed how it's possible to be playing the Ultimate Team on FIFA and it's almost as if you're playing against cheats or people way above your level? Well, with the UFL, they're trying to make sure none of that happens. See, the idea with the UFL is to deliver a fair matchmaking system, and this ultimately translates to players playing against people or users on their skill level. It means playing against someone way out of your league won't be happening until you've gotten better or ranked up. They're also attempting to make sure that players play the game more instead of spending as much on it. This is one of our core principles, essential for everything we do. We believe that our players' success should not depend on the number of in-game purchases or the value of donations they make, but on their gaming skills, experience, and mastery. You will never be obligated to purchase anything in UFL to achieve high ranks and remain competitive. If you think this is a direct shade to FIFA and EAFC, I can assure you it is. They also continued by stating that unlike EAFC, in Ultimate Team, players won't get their squads wiped out every August. You'll be able to grow the squad you start with until they're pretty much invincible. The game's promising a lot, and with the snippets that have been released so far, the game's going to be very interesting. It was initially scheduled to be released in 2022, but it got pushed to 2024, which is in a couple of weeks. And days back, after series of snippets showing the gameplay and giving an overview into how the game's going to be, the game was finally opened for beta testing. And with the results that come out so far, well, they've been disappointing. To begin with, the gameplay's decent, but the beta testers have already realized a flaw, and that's how hard they've made the dribbling seem in the game. According to results and reports online, when it comes to the in-game characterization of the players, from the neck up, they paid attention to the player details. Ronaldo's hair, for example, and his face, they got. But from the neck down, it's the same thing. In EAFC, stuff like Jack Grealish's low socks, it's not even on the game anymore. This doesn't give it the realistic look or feel the game claimed to have. Still, they've got players who could make the game marketable, and the biggest one is the former cover star for both FIFA and eFootball in 2013, Cristiano Ronaldo. Why is Ronaldo involved in the game? Well, to start with, he's invested a crazy amount into developing the game. I'm talking $40 million. According to the CEO, Eugene Nashilov, Ronaldo got really interested in the project when he heard it was a free-to-play game. Fair too, meaning unlike FIFA, where players would have to spend on cards and tokens to become better players, the users on the UFL only had to master the game to become good. Ronaldo's $40 million investment outright makes him a top investor in the game, and cover star too. But he's not the only face of the game on the poster. They've got Manchester City's Kevin De Bruyne, former Liverpool star and current captain of Al Ahly Robert Firmino, and Romelu Lukaku's in there too. The UFL is here to stay, guys, and its aim is to become the answer to better video gaming all around. Truth is, this one might be hard. I mean, on the one hand, they're offering a simpler, watered-down version of how to play the game and what to expect, but on the other hand, it's simple business. If they're trying to beat a company that's already existing in the market, they've got to come up with better stuff than a free and fair-to-play game system. Sometimes all FIFA players want is to rage quit. On the business side for Ronaldo, $40 million is quite a huge investment. Understand, guys, that with the way the video game market is going, EAFC won't have the monopoly for long. But by the time FIFA launches with their new 2K game in 2025, that's going to cause another shockwave in the video game market too. Players will want to test that and see how it figures to FIFA. eFootball has and always will be around the corner looking for the next big club to license and keep its decent following. Ronaldo knows if the UFL can at least try to match up to the current standard, there's a pool of gamers waiting to use the game, meaning more income and popularity for him. Some people believe Ronaldo chose to be the face of the UFL after the incident that happened back in 2019. At the time, Ronaldo was the face of FIFA and had just transferred to Juventus, but by the following year, the video game makers had chosen to take him off as the cover star, and it got him pissed. The case was taken to court. Ronaldo won, which showed he was right when he said he got treated unfairly, and now it feels like the UFL is his big comeback. I don't know about this one. I mean, yeah, it was painful, but Ronaldo doesn't strike me as the kind of guy to splash $40 million on a game just to get revenge. But then again, he's on a $200 million a year contract. He could if he wanted to. It's there, guys. In a couple of weeks, the UFL will officially launch and be on the market to play in both the PlayStation and Xbox titles, as well as the PC. I can't lie, lie, I'm looking forward to it, seeing what the user experience is like. If it's anything matching up to EAFC, it's a win. It's very easy to criticize the game and claim it might not meet expectations, but remember that this is going to be the first official launch year of the game, meaning that as time goes on, it should hopefully improve and come up with even better features to keep the users active and playing. At least that's what Ronaldo would hope for. More players means more money for him. And if the game becomes successful in the coming years, that $40 million investment could become one of the biggest bargains of his life. It'll be interesting to see how he as a player in the game features though, especially in career mode. I could use him. Truth is, the UFL might take some time before it catches up to the standard of the leading video game makers, EAFC and eFootball that is. These two have been in the market for long, and at various points they both held the upper hand over each other. Now, looking at it, it feels like the UFL is trying to take aspects from both sides into creating their video game. On the part of EAFC, they've taken the Ultimate Team part and are looking to make it better and simpler for users to play with. And on the part of eFootball, they're using the same Level 5 engine eFootball uses. But the idea is to come out with better results and not the ghost faces like the ones on eFootball. The first year is always the challenging one, but so far the reviews have been mixed. While the gameplay itself hasn't been all that encouraging, from the reviews online, a lot of people using the beta version seem to be enjoying how competitive the game could be. Playing against people in the same skill level makes it fair and realistic. Deep down, I bet Ronaldo hopes this one turns out well so bad, because there's no way he'd want this one ranking on the list of the stupidly expensive things he owns. Oh, you didn't know there was a list like that? Well, it's all in the next video.